Jazz hold off the Sacramento Kings with a little veteran savvy and know-how, plus all the little plays you need to win ball games. We're talking about it coming up on POSTCAST. POSTCAST is brought to you by the store located at the Gateway right there and located 600 South. And after a win like this,
no, you don't.
You get to have
a
mudslide cookie. I haven't touched it.
Half eaten.
I haven't touched it.
I'll get my own.
All right.
I like them as well, David.
Yum. How about that? Hey, Ron. Brought to you by the store. What do you think of that?
Those mudslide cookies are great.
They are good. That's all I need.
Well, I'll tell you what, the whole pastry department, is absolutely good.
I was asking about the game, not what you thought of the store's pastry department.
The game was awesome. So the cookies.
It was a really good game.
Yeah.
We had 22 lead changes, 14 ties tonight in this ball game. And the King, it kept feeling like the Jazz were going to run away from the Kings, and the Kings had no part of that, to their credit. And a lot of what Luke Walton's done, by the way, from the Kings standpoint, is he's shortened the rotation. He's not playing guys because they were draft picks, Marvin Bagley. He's playing guys that are good. And every guy they have on the floor is a pretty good player. And it made it a real tussle for the Jazz tonight.
It really did. You got a few guys that can play multiple positions. So if you have a 7-man rotation, what you really have is like a 9-man rotation, because you can move those guys around and put them in key spots. Then you have guys that run the floor and play well together, which really plays right into the hands of what they want to do out there on the floor.
Jazz got superb performances from Donovan Mitchell in the third quarter and Mike Conley in the fourth. Mike with 13 in the fourth. Donovan with, I think, 15 in the third. Really just brilliant performances on those. And that's where, they were stars.
Yeah, 66 points coming from the backcourt, and what a night they had. Mike Conley was just unreal. The clutch shots that he made as well, and knocking down some 3-point shots where he had a big night, 6 for 9 from the 3-point line, 11 for 19, and 31 minutes of play. I mean, there was one spectacular basketball game.
Ron, I want to talk about the little things, and then we'll get into there's a bunch of different questions, a lot of questions coming in. The chat room's really active right now. We love that. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in. Mike Conley scores with 3 seconds left at the end of the first quarter in what was a really brilliant play. He scores with 5 seconds left in the second quarter, and he scores with 5 seconds, I think, or 7 seconds left in the third quarter. To some extent, those 3 plays win the game tonight. You're in a possession-by-possession game, and you're stealing points at the end of the quarter. Frankly, we usually have Jordan taking all those shots, and that wasn't so good tonight. So Mike making those plays, like, to me, those are the little things that win basketball games, and why you wonder at the end of the night, like, why'd they win and they lost? To me, that's why the Jazz won tonight.
Those clutch plays, you put the ball in the right people's hand, and a guy that has the hot hand and getting the job done. But some of the shots that he made tonight, and not necessarily the shots, but the moves and the way he used the screens to get those shots, is the same thing we're seeing working on in practice in the morning, those shooting drills that they play. Now, you have an imaginary screener when you're making those moves. But those are the same shots that you practice on, and you have confidence in them, and you end up making them. He made that one he made down in the corner, that left right corner that you were talking about there, where the defender was kind of on his right shoulder. Was spectacular. I mean, because I thought that was a big shot. But he had it going. So what do? You go with the hot hand and get it done.
Here's what's really interesting about this and the way Mike played it. That play at the end of the first quarter, the Jazz always run a peel action where Jordan Clarkson runs off and then they flip it to Jordan. The Kings were, to give Luke Walton and his staff credit, were well enough prepared. They clearly knew the play. They switched their matchups. They had Harrison Barnes guarding Mike Conley at the top, and they had Davion Mitchell guarding Jordan Clarkson. So if they got switched, they had their 2 best defenders on the play. Mike recognized it, ran a different play, or at least just signaled that this is continuity. This is where you have the veteran, and got the 1 weak defender on the floor, Buddy Hield, into the play and beat him for a 3-point play. Like that's when you talk about veteran savvy, when you're wondering why does it matter that I don't want like a rookie versus a guy who's been in the league for 13 years? These are the areas where those guys are making plays other guys aren't making.
Yeah, quarterbacks do that. Peyton Manning does that. Tom Brady does that. Omaha.
Omaha.
Yeah.
And the other one is great coaching because they have to recognize it. And the most remarkable play to us, we went to shoot around today and watched shoot around, and they literally practiced how to deal with the blitz of double teaming the ball. It happened late in the game with about 4 minutes left. And the Jazz, this is credit to the players too. It doesn't matter how good the coaches are unless they execute it perfectly. They executed it to the absolute most minute precision of what Quinn Snyder asked them, and Brian Bailey, the scout coach, had them do on that play. And it was a double team. They got it to Gobert. Gobert rotated to Bojan. He hit the three. I mean, it was incredible to watch because we literally watched them practice that exact play today.
Exactly. And this morning I'm watching it and I'm thinking, okay, so as long as Rudy doesn't make that an automatic pass, meaning make the pass before he sees if Bojan is open or if there's a defender in your path, because some guys do that. Just make that automatic pass and then all of a sudden someone's there. But he did come to a jump stop, like you just mentioned there during the broadcast. And there was Bojan in the corner, got him in the basketball, just picture perfect. Prep work done by the coaching staff that it ended up just getting him 3-point field goal.
Rudy Gobert finished the night with 19 rebounds. Is that right? 20 rebounds again. The second time against the Kings he's done that. Great clutch free throw shooting. Speaking about veteran stealing possessions, offensive rebounding tonight by the Utah Jazz. They finished with 15 offensive rebounds. They finished with second chance points. Where's my second chance points? On those 15 rebounds, they had 33 second chance points tonight, 12 of 18 shooting on those. That's some math. That's mostly threes out of that somehow. That's pretty incredible to get 33 second chance points tonight.
It really is. And again, I'm going to repeat myself here because, as you mentioned, it was Royce O'Neal who was helping Rudy Gobert rebound and make things happen last year. Now you got Whiteside, and you also got Eric Patzell.
Yeah, and Donovan Mitchell, I think, had 5 offensive rebounds tonight.
Yeah, exactly. But Royce O'Neal and Eric are the ones that rebound out. I mean, they're reading the ball off the rim and going with the read and coming up with some rebounds and giving the Jazz some second chances.
All right, let's get to the number one question everyone wants to know, Ron Boone. This comes from Michael. Is Jordan Clarkson just in a slump or has something changed in his game?
Struggling, pressuring, and all the above. Slumps, I'm just short of saying, yeah, he's in a slump. I think he's putting a lot of pressure on himself.
Oh, I'm going to say he's in a slump. He's missed 15 straight threes. Yeah. It's a slump.
Yeah. You touched on what I'm saying that he's.
Oh, it's bigger than a slump.
Right. And you touched on something that during the course of the basketball game that always works when a guy, and he's so good at it, getting into the paint and shooting a little push shots or a little mid-range jump shots. Now you start to work your way back out. He's trying to shoot himself out of a slump by taking all these 3-point shots. You go in, get some high percentage shots. You notice he didn't play that much in that fourth quarter.
No, he did not. I mean, Quinn's trying to give him a great deal of freedom, but there is a point where tonight, the Jazz are shooting 33% as a team, and tonight the Jazz go 14 of 48. If Jordan does his usual thing, which is even 3 of 11 or 4 of 11, then all of a sudden the Jazz are 18 of 48. It's like they're fine.
Yeah.
So really, we have one guy in a horrendous shooting nadir, and that is the issue that's at hand here right now. Mike is magic. Whiteside's the best backup Rudy could ask for. What do you think of Hassan Whiteside?
He's playing very, very well, and I really like his interview. I mean, he realizes that he has some adjustments to make, and learning how to play in 4-minute stints, like you just asked him that question. He's embracing it and just doing the best that he can out there on the floor. Obviously, from listening to him, the Quinn's had long conversations with him about that. Our concern was when he joined the team was, can he be impactful in a short period of time? And I think he's getting better at it.
Great question coming in for Joshua McGrath. Hey, David and Ron, what happened to the blender? Seems like the offense has totally changed. I mean, we're winning, so I'm not complaining, but it does seem like it's just pick and roll, ISO, pass if you're in trouble. The Jazz opened the game, I think, in 9 of their first 13 possessions shot through 1 or fewer passes. They just did not, and the shooting's not right. So, it begs the question, what seems like good shots that you should be taking, or are you just not in the same rhythm because you're not passing quite the same way. What's your thoughts on the lack of passing,
Well,
and is it related to the lack of
in
shooting?
order to get that blender going, you got to break the defense down. I mean, you got to get penetration, and then you start moving the basketball. And I agree with the caller. We haven't seen much of that this year. We've seen the ball stops, but more pick and roll action than anything. So I agree with that. I mean, that blender is going to free up Joe Ingles. That blender will get Boyan a few more looks as well, even though he got 11 attempts here tonight. But those are those high percentage 3-point shots. I'm going to call them that because we're so good at it, that you get because of that blender.
A lot of questions about the ball, Ron. What do you think? There's no way for us to know, really.
There's no way for us to know, and I'd have to touch the ball to see if I feel anything, but I doubt it. There's some guys that, I haven't heard anyone say it. I guess you've heard someone say anything about the ball, but I don't know.
Jazz win it tonight, 119-113. As we wrap this up, Phoenix leads the Lakers 81-79. Will probably be their last lead of the night. But the Lakers should never trail Houston at any point at home this year, unless
looked like Phoenix came back to win there as well.
Phoenix has come back to handle. They're going to beat the New Orleans Pelicans, who are not good either. All right, that wraps us up. Post Locked on Jazz for you tomorrow. Ron and I will be in Atlanta, bringing you some afternoon games. I like those afternoon drive games. We get to bring them to the fans while they're driving home from work. So hopefully you'll tune in, and we look forward to bringing it to you. Have a great one. Thanks for tuning in to POSTCAST.